Hey guys, how are ya?
Great.
Yeah?
I have COVID.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. That really sucks.
I
I actually
guess.
think I just got over it.
I
I
mean,
think.
my family has it. I think my kid brought it home. I gotta be honest, like, if it weren't for the circumstances, like, I wouldn't have tested. I don't feel very sick at all. So it's like this weird thing where I'm like, I can't fucking do anything. We have this big tour to get ready for.
Oh,
I
dude.
can't rehearse, but I can. Like, if I had a cold, I would just go.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the weird stage we're at it with it now. It's like, my kid had this thing that he brought home and it got everyone way sicker. But because it wasn't COVID, we're like, oh, well, I guess we can take him everywhere and fucking infect everybody with him. But with COVID, it's like, oh, basically you don't have anything going on. It's like, no, you can't leave your house for like 10 fucking days. It's
Yeah.
just really weird.
It's nuts, man. No. It's creeping around here too. I keep talking to people and they're like, oh yeah, I was sick the other day and I lost my voice, I lost my taste. And you're like, just. But kids, man, I got kids as well. You both have kids, right?
No, just me.
Just you. Okay. So they will bring home everything, as you know, which
So we've been sick. He's in preschool now. He's about to turn 4.
yeah.
So he just preschool. We've been sick for 3 months straight, like
Really?
legitimate 3 months
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah. Here's the parenting. No, I'll be there, man.
It's fucked. I've never been sick so much in my life ever, except for maybe
Oh,
when I was
dude.
a little kid and I didn't remember it.
Oh man. Well, I hope you feel better soon though. I hope you get on the mend so you can get back to jamming. Thanks so much for hanging out on the show.
Glad to be
Thanks for
here.
having.
Yeah, no worries. Well, of course, you guys were just here.
Yeah. That was, what was that?
June.
Yeah.
June. Yeah, late June, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, that was amazing. That tour was fucking incredible. Did you guys have a good time?
Too much of a
We
good
always
time.
we always have a good time in Australia. It's probably the most comfortable place to tour, I think.
It's a long trip though. That's a thing.
Here's the thing, man. It's when we talked about this a bunch. It's weird for us because being a West Coast band,
Yeah.
like we go to Australia, like the last time we'd been there was 2016. You know what I mean? Like way too fucking long.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for how many times have we been to Europe in that span of time? Like a shitload. It's not a shorter flight, really, because like if we go anywhere other than starting in London,
Mm.
you're changing planes in Heathrow, which is a fucking nightmare. And that it's better to be on the plane for an extra 3 or 4 hours just sitting there than to get off the plane and fuck around and do all this other stuff. So I actually find it easier to just like fly to Sydney. It's just like a lot easier for us.
It's chill on the plane a bit. But hey, how was Dark Mofo though?
Great.
It's fucking incredible.
Love that
Yeah.
thing.
Man, I've always wanted to go to that thing and I always miss it.
Highly worth it. Highly worth it. I would recommend it to anyone for living in Australasia.
Yeah, I mean, it was so awesome. I would recommend it to anyone except for it's just so goddamn far. Just like incredibly prohibitively far.
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, we're on the arse end of the world, but that's on like the bottom of that. That's like way down. But it looks so fucking magical. It's like one day I'll do it. But mate, your new album, Rat Wars, is out on December 7th, and I've heard a lot of stuff this year that's pretty good. But this album has come in and taken the top spot. No
Oh,
shit.
thank you.
It is my favorite fucking album of this year. Dudes, you've just absolutely smashed it out of the park for me. It's a really special record, and I connected to it very, very strongly. Do you have that feeling about it yourself? Do you feel like you guys have really made something quite special?
Um,
Uh, we definitely think we've made the best record we've made, but I don't know. How do you want to answer that, Jake?
Well, I think it's like the criteria for that is hard to gauge because like like we're not the kind of guys that are gonna be we don't go into an interview and be like, yeah, man, we fucking murdered it. Like it's a goddamn piece. Nothing's gonna be the same ever again. It's just not our, and I feel like we're we tend to be more guarded too because I think what John said is about as far as we like to go because then you also don't want to start setting up expectations for yourself. Like I guess it's enough that I think that we're starting to notice because we've released like a lot of songs ahead of the record that within our fan base it seems to be like really resonating with people in a meaningful way, and I think that is as much gratification as you could really hope for because when you start getting in the territory of do you think we really did something special, if you think that, then if I think that, then that could put me in a mindset where I want to see the record become successful in some sort of commercial way that I have no control over, which can lead to disappointment. So I think we try to temper that a little bit.
Also, with all these records, we listen to them so much over and over and so many times. We're pretty numb to it by the end. We're kind of sick of it. This is the least sick I've been of any of them. We've done all these listening parties. I've listened to it so many times, and I feel the least like, is this crap? So that's good. That's saying something I would say.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Have you had much feedback from your like your peers and your dudes in other bands and collaborators?
We have, but I never trust those guys, not because they're wrong. It's just like they just know me. They have a very different relationship, and they also work in music.
Yeah.
So we've been really going by the obvious, and then we have our super fan reaction. All these qualifiers, but just and that's what people see on these emotional connections is probably that feels the best. Unless we see some like crazy numbers, then obviously that would be good too.
Yeah, but I was just thinking about that. It's also a tricky thing. Is it the record doesn't have to be a commercial smash success in order for it to be artistically successful and meaningful, like, so maybe it's going to be like a time will tell kind of thing and it slowly germinates and resonates with people. I don't really know. But I would agree with John that I feel like this is my favorite record that we've made in terms of it feels the most like a cohesive record. It feels the most conceptually contained and aesthetically balanced. And as John said, you listen to it so many times, you get to a point where you're feeling up and your reaction is, oh man, I really think we did something special this time. And then you listen to it finishing, going through the mixing, and by that pass, you're like, fuck, this is kind of whatever. And then tracks start coming out and people start reacting to them. And then you can toggle back to the first thing. Oh, I think we did something good. So it's kind of like it's sort of in the court of public opinion to decide. But by the way, thank you very much for saying that you like the album. We appreciate
I love
it.
the album. I fucking love it. Man, I've been driving around to it. I'm even mowed the lawn to it yesterday. I was doing the garden and I was like, had it on loop while that was an experience. But apart from that, man, I just found a really strong emotional connection to it. And I think other people will as well. But the funny thing is, lyrically, it comes across as very, very, very dark. But obviously, there's you guys online, your Insta, and everything sort of fun and memes and stuff like that. But when you listen to it, it's pretty fucking heavy, man. Is that something intentional? Because it kind of makes the music a lot darker, if you know what I mean, at this time of morning.
You mean the sort of a contradiction makes it darker?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, like you see all the fun stuff, you go, oh shit, that's there, and then listen to it and it goes, fuck, that's a lot dark.
It's this thing. It's the internet that does okay. The music's dead serious, and that's always the thing. And we make dark music, but the the internet is really working against you to cultivate any sort of mysterious or brooding person, image of any kind. And so we want to connect with our fans. So on the internet, we can kind of be really funny or goof around. It's
Well, I
we
think,
really, yeah,
and I think the other thing is though too is that yeah, in the past you could have this your Joy Division, your Bauhaus, your whatever. You have this sort of unassailable, impenetrable aesthetic identity. And now that's just not true for anyone. And even the people that are into really dark culture and entertainment, whether or not it's music, film, video games, they're also all looking at all the same funny ass weird shit online. And one thing we noticed too is that because the other point to make is that there's a big dichotomy in that between like John runs the socials and I write the lyrics. And like I think John's a pretty happy guy and I think I'm a pretty unhappy guy. So that's that there's that duality too. But as he said, the music it has always been presented deadly serious, and that's how we want the band to be taken.
Yeah, we're still it's a Harlequin fucking face, right? So the happy and the frown, the same fucking thing. Yeah.
But I think I was talking to another interviewer about this. We hit upon it. It's just like in a certain way, I think it actually is more truthful to present the duality because that's how it is to be alive right now. Like people, well, I guess what we've noticed is that the fans that like the funny shit posty meme side of the socials, they're the same ones that like comment on some shit like, I was going to kill myself and then I was listening to your record and it helped me. It's like they're not mutually exclusive of one another. They're the same fan base. And that
we've actually never heard a complaint about that. Like, oh, you guys ruin your image, or you ruin the music with this funny. It's like no one's ever said that before. No, except like maybe the record label, but they got no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the collaborations on here as well. I mean, like, obviously you got like Tyler Bates who you worked with before, Sarah Taylor, and Godflesh. Holy shit! That like I was like when I saw that I was like man, that's incredible. It's like how's it working with those dudes? Like,
we just paid for the sample, but Earache Records is like, hey, you have to put featuring, and that's very common nowadays because the streaming area you want to see it. But we asked his permission directly, and he said, hell yeah. We'd love to work with Godflesh though, for sure.
Okay,
it was I'll send an email.
Okay,
sample.
Cool. I thought you guys had like
no, it's just like old school hip hop style. Basically, we built it around killer sample of like Rats, and then yeah, like John said, we ran into him at a festival in France and asked, if we had his blessing to use a Godflesh sample, and he was like, "Fuck yeah!" But he has this totally contentious relationship with his label, so he was like, "Fuck him,"
label.
What? So we would actually love to collaborate with Godflesh on a new track. I think that would be really fun.
Dude, that'd be so good. It'd be so good. Is there anyone on your bucket list, guys, that you really want to work with?
We already did it. We hit Mount Everest. So everything else here is just bonus points.
Who's your Mount Everest?
we Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
you can't beat you can't beat that. But we obviously there's tons of artists we want to work with. They don't have to be huge or famous. They're just cool, and that we think our sounds will mix. So we got a lot of people on our list. That's for sure.
I mean, I have my own. I really wanted to do something with Iggy Pop, and I would love to do something with The Cure. Those would be pretty big bucket ones for me. New Order.
Oh man, that'd be so sick. I'd like because I love like the guitar stuff that you guys incorporate. Like some of it's just amazing. I'd love to hear like Reeves from The Cure. Well, he used to be with Bowie with all his wild, crazy fucking guitar shit with your stuff would be pretty incredible to hear.
Totally. I mean, that's the thing. The collabs for us they're pretty fun, and they kind of they don't have the same stress, Like we're not like super worried. It's like they're just gonna be what they're gonna be, and we work with someone we like,
You can't really have an agenda when you're doing a collaborative song, or it'll ruin it. You know, like if we're to go into it and say, okay, it's Nine Inch Nails, like it needs to be this kind of song, or whoever it is, we're gonna do a banger. We're gonna do this kind of. It's already there's so much that has to go through translation to make it work and create an environment creatively for both parties to be comfortable that you just kind of path of least resistance it until you have something that you're proud of. So there's really no agenda, and that makes it more organic. And I think actually doing that so much because the pandemic kept going so much that I have COVID right now as we speak. That it sort of trickled into this record. And that's part of why I think maybe it does feel, I think there's a lot of elements that comprise why it feels cohesive and digestible and consistent as a record. But a big part of that, I think, is we were already in that headspace of working and not really coming in. We just made a record. We knew roughly what we wanted it to sound like, and it was sort of a cathartic, natural experience. I think that additionally for me, lyrically on the other end of that, it's like my personal life and my mental health were pretty terrible, which is also, unfortunately, in my case, like good for making a record. So those things I think combined made it fluid in the process, but definitely has a lot to do with writing fucking a double album worth of collaborative tracks that puts you in this headspace of just like, all right, well, we're just gotta make songs and you just let them happen.
That's awesome. And you're hitting the road with Sleep Token very soon.
Very exciting.
Sorry?
That's very exciting. We're very excited.
Oh man, they're absolutely blowing up at the moment. And I think that's going to be an incredible show.
Yeah, this is their year, and we're really lucky to get to ride along.
Awesome. Do you reckon
Wembley Arena, baby?
So you guys going to collaborate in future, do you think?
I would not want to be too presumptuous. We've never met them. We're lucky to be on the tour. Hopefully we don't stink up the joint. You know, what if we get out there and just eat it? Yeah, that could happen. You know, so but we would definitely do it. How about that? We'd love to. I think, you know, they can do anything with their sound. We can do anything with ours. So it could be fun. You know, we could really do anything, you know?
That'd be unreal. Well, dudes, thanks for hanging out on the show this morning. And we will have all the links down here to Rat Wars. I fucking love this album. I can't say enough good things about it. Dudes, all the best towards the end of the year and the tour. I hope you feel better too, man. All right, lads.
Don't worry about it.